Folks, welcome back. Again, I'm Tom O'Hanlon. I'm the owner of BookerLAB. We're here today to talk about our vintage motor controller product that we call the VMC3. So I've got three of them sitting here to my right. They're basically the same product, but each model has additional enhancements over the previous model. So the first unit we've got, I will call the base unit, and it's right here. And as you can see, we've got outlets across the top to plug into your various motors, and then we've got jacks here in the middle to control the speed and to control also what we call Memphis and stop mode. The second model that we have in the lineup we call the VMC-MM, and that stands for motor monitor. And what that means is it's got these two additional jacks here and a circuit board internally, which we'll show you. And what that circuit board does is it monitors what the amplifier is telling the motors to do. So we plug the motors in here where we're controlling them, and then we listen to what the amplifier is telling the motors to do here. So we call that plug and play mode, where basically if you were the organist, you wouldn't know that anything had changed unless you wanted to exercise the additional functions that these boxes provide, which again is the stop function and the Memphis function, which is the lower rotors only stopping. So the third product in this series we call the MIDI version, and you're all familiar with MIDI. Here's the MIDI connectors that you're seeing on the back of some keyboards and other various devices. So again, it's our basic VMC3 unit, except we've added the motor monitor sockets here, and then we've added the MIDI board along the bottom. So it's a pretty complicated box here. There's 4 boards in here. Again, and each one of them are interconnected with some cables, and we'll show you how all that works. The bottom line is these things do control the motors on your Leslie. They can either do it by plugging a switch into the switch jack, or they can listen to your amplifier by plugging AC ports into your AC jacks. That way the organist doesn't have to worry about learn anything new, any new switches, but if they do want to stop the Leslie, or if they do want to put it in Memphis mode, they have a foot switch that'll very conveniently do that for them. In the old days, Memphis required crawling into the sound booth where the Leslie was hidden or tucked away and unplugging the lower motors. Well, you can imagine sending somebody that wasn't familiar with the Leslie off to do that. With these devices now and with MIDI, you can sit in the console in the recording studio, touch a button on your workstation, and the Leslie will change modes or change speed. So we consider that a real technological leap for something that's been around about as long as I have been here, quite a few years. So stay tuned, and we're going to show you how to install this device on a stock Leslie, which you can see behind me. All right, here we go. Welcome back. All right, now we're going to install the VMC product into this stock Leslie cabinet. I would advise anybody working on any Leslie, first thing you need to do is unplug it so that there's no dangerous voltages present. So we'll unplug the 6-pin connector from the Leslie and set that to the side. The next step would be to unplug the 4 motors. There's 2 slow and 2 fast in each Leslie, and the brown cords are the fast motors, the white cords are the slow motors. So here you can see we're unplugging the Leslie motors. The next step will be to take the cabinet off the back of the Leslie, and then we'll fish the Leslie motors so that they come through this hole, and we can mount the unit real neatly on the back of the cabinet. So now we got the back open. Remember, we've got to fish the 4 cables out that went to the amplifier from the motors through the opening in the back of the cabinet. So we got our 2 brown motor wires and our 2 white wires, and then again that's the 2 slow and the 2 fast cables. So here they are, as you can see. All right, and we also need to remember there are 3 cables came with your unit: a red cable, a brown cable, and a white cable. Here's the 3 cables. If you notice, we've color coded them: white for slow or chorale, brown for tremolo or fast, and red is our power cable. So each of these cables has a unique function on the VMC3, as we'll see as we install them. So routing them through. At this point, we'll put at least 1 screw in to hold our cabinet on safely. So as you can see now, we've mounted the box. We've got 2 convenient screw holes here that it mounts to. One of these is the existing Leslie cabinet screw. The other one is in the speaker box here on the inside. So tighten both of them, and now we're going to connect the cables. The easiest way to connect the cables is to start with the smaller AC sensor cables. So brown, again, is fast in. White, if you remember, is slow in. And my red cable is my power cable. So we've very conveniently shrink wrapped color codes on these so you can see. Now we come down to the amplifier and we do the same thing in reverse. We start with the red plug, and that's our power, and it'll be marked as either reverb amplifier or accessory amplifier, but it's the furthermost outlet next to your controls. If you've got an older Leslie amplifier and it doesn't have a convenience AC outlet, just use an extension cord to run this first one. but you must plug these other two into the amplifier in order for it to sense what they're doing. So again, brown is fast, it goes into the fast outlet. White is slow, and it goes into the chorale or slow outlet. And now we've got these three plugged up. So now I like to hook my motors up. So again, I marked these before so I'll know what they are, but here's the upper fast, upper slow, reverse those, and then the lower fast and the lower slow motor. So now we've got a complete hookup. You can take a little tie wrap, you can take these off to the side. There's a lot of things you can do to make the installation neater, but the basic line is now it's ready to go. As you can see, we now have the unit installed. We've got all the cables trimmed out neatly. We got everything plugged in. We connected the Leslie back up to the controller, and now we're ready to check it out and see what it does. So let's take it for a spin. As you can see right now, I've got this half moon switch, and we've got a Trek relay equipped amplifier here, so it'll do stop for us as well. So as you can see, I go into slow. We're doing slow or chorale. I go to fast. You can see we go to fast, and then the middle position on our 3-position switch is stop. And as you can see, it stops. So now I want to demonstrate the Memphis mode and the stop mode for you with our controllers. So here we have everything hooked back up, and I want to demonstrate to you what Memphis mode does. Memphis mode, again, is when your lower rotors stop turning. So we can do it so simply by just pushing a switch here, and as you can see, our lower rotor stopped turning. We can go to fast mode. You can see the upper responds, but the lower still doesn't. But as soon as we take our unit out of Memphis mode, you can see the lower and the upper are now in sync and behaving as expected. I hope that wraps it up for you. This is a great product. I think it's very useful. But we're very excited about the MIDI. We've been working with OB Dave. If y'all know, remember Ocean Beach Digital. Dave has written the software to do this task, and he's a keyboard player himself. So we're looking forward to doing a bunch of neat projects with Dave in the future. So thank y'all for listening today.